everyone, it's Tani Games here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're here with a speed build for Oswald's bar, as I'm calling it. So I really wanted to do a build sort of inspired and using the items that we've recently got with Oswald's addition to the game. I decided to go for kind of like a bar vibe. It seemed the most fitting for all the items that have come in, like especially the Art Deco glass shelves and things like that. And I really wanted to kind of go for like a speakeasy kind of vibe, if that makes sense. So that's my intention with this build. I was a bit gutted about these Art Deco shelves. One, I was hoping they would push up against each other, and two, I was technically hoping they weren't shelves and that I could use them as like counters. So I had to think of a different way to do kind of like the bar, and originally I wanted to do this setup here with all these tables, but then I realized once I added in like a music room and things, or not a music room but like a music stage space, I just wasn't gonna have the space. So this long lengthy bar gets scrapped in terms of ideas, but I do think this is a really cool idea, and I definitely think if anyone wanted to replicate this, going with the long bar is like such a vibe, honestly. So I definitely think it's worth doing if you kind of do less seating, or maybe do it without the kind of like music stage thing. I did also want to use this door setup as well, since we get that with Oswald. And then I was just trying to find out the best place to sort of put these shelves, because they are really kind of bulky. So it's really hard finding a place to kind of like fit them in, to be honest. I do eventually find a place once I sort of redesign everything. But yeah, they were a bit of trouble to begin with. This is me as per usual, just pulling out all the different items. It just helps me visually to remember what kind of items I want to include in the build. I also find it a lot easier than going in and out every like 2 minutes just to grab like multiple of the same item. So for me it's just easier having them pulled out this way. Personally, I really love this new collection that we've gotten with Oswald. I mean, blue is my favorite color, so for one, that made me instantly fall in love with it. But also I just love the style of it and everything. I think it's so, like, I just love it. I really do. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are for this. I did also, after filming this, have a video that's going to be Oswald's Theatre, so you'll have to keep an eye out on the channel for that one. It will come after this build, but that was another thing that I did, using less of the sort of Oswald items, but I really was kind of inspired by this, like, almost like, I want to say like 1920s kind of vibe. I don't know, just kind of like, I guess like with the silent film era and cinema booming and stuff like that. And yeah, they're just like kind of those vibes. I just wanted to go with that. So this is me trying to figure out the best layout for the tables and chairs. I did realize that as I was doing this, I was like, wait, I'm missing some chairs. I didn't pull out the big comfy chairs, because surprisingly the big comfy chairs are not part of the Oswald collection, even though they clearly match. They come under like the other category. So that's just like a little heads up, I guess, to people when you are looking for items and stuff like that. If they don't come up under a category you think they are, the likelihood is they come up under other. So that might be why. Originally I thought about fitting the couch in towards the stage area, because I thought it might be kind of cool to have those kind of lounge vibes near the stage. But then I realized that the couch was way too big, like, yeah, just far too big. And then this was me trying to figure out a different place to put the couch and sort of refiddle with the layout and stuff like that. I do end up getting rid of some of the tables. I think I scrap a lot of the things in this build. Like, I just cut it down so much because the room just isn't big enough. It's kind of annoying because I guess in a way this is a bit like a replica of Oswald's house in a sense, but Oswald's house is so much bigger than what we have in our own homes in terms of space to decorate. So kind of filling in the elements of what you can see inside Oswald's house into a build like this is quite difficult. Oh, this was another thing I found annoying. The coffee cabinets don't join up together either, which was so frustrating. I then tried to work out if I could do almost like an L-shaped bar space, but I don't really have a table that joins with the regal desk. So it may be that swapping this out for like an L-shaped counter might work better. But I just like the gold and the black tones, so I really wanted to stick with it just so it was like more cohesive throughout the build. This was me trying to figure out the stage area, a bit frustratingly because I'd put it near the door. I didn't want the seats right up against the door. This might work better towards the back end of the build. Like perhaps if I just had the seating area near the door, it wouldn't be so tight of a fit. But yeah, I kind of don't have that. Like the angling is a bit off with the stage. Again, that's just down to the size limitations. I could probably cut down on the amount of chairs and tables that I used, but I just felt like if I did that, it wouldn't have the same bustling bar kind of vibe that I wanted it to have. So I really kind of had to make do with this kind of awkward layout. This is the kind of lounge comfy chair space, which I thought might be nice for people who have popped in that maybe just want a drink and stuff like that, or maybe a bigger seating area for larger groups of bar goers. Obviously we don't have any drinks in game, so a bit later on I do get some like food items. So I get the royal tea recipes, which come with Eternity Isle and the Rift in Time expansion. I went with those because I felt like they just had a classy, elegant feel to them. And then I found out or remembered that you can actually craft clam juice, which does come in a glass. So because it comes in a glass, I was like, okay, well, I'll use this then, because I was really looking for drinks that came in a glass to kind of give cocktail vibes and stuff like that. But I really love how this build turned out. It was one of my favorites to do, for sure. Even though I was very frustrated with the spacing and stuff, I just liked, I don't know, I just found this build really fun and just really different from anything that I've done so far in the game build wise. So I really enjoyed doing this build. Yeah, I always struggle sometimes to know what to say on these things, like explaining my process and stuff, I guess. I mean, obviously I've put the artwork up on the walls. I wanted to go for kind of like the grand and elegant portraits, so that's why we've got like the paintings that I chose. I then wanted to add in some extra wall lighting, and again the candelabras just felt like they had that little bit more elegance than some of the others. And then I realized that glitched into the shelf, so I had to scrap that idea, because well, not scrap it, but I had to move it, I had to adjust it, I had to make them closer, because I was like, no, this isn't fitting otherwise. I almost used melted candles in this build because I'm a big fan of melted candles, but I felt like the simple lamps were sort of more fitting for this kind of like speakeasy bar vibe that I was going for, so that's why I choose to go for them. I did put in the Mrs. Potts like tea trolley thing. Again, I just thought it might look like a drinks trolley or something like that, which I thought might be quite fitting. At this moment I'm just looking for other decor pieces that I can really add to the build, just to kind of elevate it and not make it feel so empty. I probably would have done a rug with this build, but because I used the red rugs to line the stage area, I felt like it might just become a bit too cluttered and mismatched, so I think if you did this build but removed the stage element and like the music element entirely, you could probably make do with having rugs elsewhere in the room and it would look very nice. I did use the enchanted rose. It is a big item, I know, but I just wanted some kind of elegant decor, something with a bit of sparkle and shine and things like that. So that's why I chose this. I also got some potions out because I thought they might look like bottles of mixers and things like that. Like, that was the vibe I was going for with this. Now obviously this is the Disney universe, so we can pretend like, I mean, I'm pretending this is a bar, but obviously you could replicate this as a more family friendly bar with just energy drink cans, like the little cans of pop. You could do it with like some like food bits, some like ice creams and things like that, just to elevate it. But here we are in the walkthrough part of it all. I will leave you here with this. I do just want to say a big shout out and thank you to anyone who likes, comments and supports this little channel. I appreciate and love you all so much. To my subscribers and channel members, you mean the world to me. I hope you enjoyed this build. If there's any other things that you would like to see me do build wise, if you've got any creative ideas, leave them in the comments below. When I come back from Denmark, I'll probably have a look at them and see if there's anything I can try and recreate for you. But I hope you enjoyed this build, enjoy the walkthrough, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!